Hey, now it's Anthony with A&A, and today I want to tell you guys how I earn extra money. Okay, um, in 2013, I started business school. It was a year after I started my business. So a lot of people ask me, why are you going to business school? Why are you getting a degree? All you doing is cutting grass. I said, well, I'm not going to school to learn how to cut grass because obviously I already know how to do that. I'm going to school to learn how to run a business. So, well, when you get your degree, what you gonna do with it? Well, I'm gonna apply what I learned in school to my business, and I might teach. I'm really thinking about teaching. My dad was a teacher. I feel like I got something to offer. So, one day I want to be a teacher. With a master's degree, you can teach community colleges. You can teach colleges. You can be an adjunct instructor with just a master's degree. So hey, who knows? I graduated 2015, and during business school, I learned the term diversifying your portfolio. And that term is mainly used with stocks, with the stock market. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds. What that means is that you don't want to invest all your money into one stock or one bond or one fund. Invest into several different stocks and bonds and mutual funds, not just one. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So I applied that to my business, but it wasn't with the stock market. It was more of my services. I decided to diversify my services, and so with my lawn care, I do gutter cleaning, bush trimming, tree trimming, weeding out flower beds or clearing out flower beds, installing mulch or pine straw, weed control, putting out herbicides and pre-emergence, maybe forgetting something, but I do it, right there. That's a lot. I mean, that by itself can keep you busy year round. Oh yeah, leaf removal. So then 6 months after I started my lawn service, I started doing mobile car washing. And when I started my mobile car wash business, I bought a pressure washer, so that allowed me to add more services. Not only can I wash your car, I can pressure wash your house, I can pressure wash your deck, your patios, driveways, fences, and coming real soon, I'll be doing window cleaning. So pretty much I got your outside of your home, your grounds covered. So that's how I earn extra money. A lot of my friends that are in the business, they're just amazed that I'm still working. They'll call me and I won't answer my phone, and then when I call them back, I was busy. It was like, man, it's cold outside, what you doing? And I washed a few cars and I did a leaf job. What? You still working? Yeah. And they can't understand it. And so that's how I do it. It's simple. It's simple. You don't want, and another thing, you don't want other servicers, coming on your accounts. And let me explain it to you. For instance, let's say that you don't trim small trees like crepe myrtles, or get branches that are hanging low that needs to be trimmed up and stuff like that. Let's say you don't do that. Well, the first person that your client is going to ask about something like that is you. And when you turn that down, then she is forced to call someone else. And she really rather you do it because she knows you, she trusts you, she wants to give you that money. But since you told her you don't do that, she's going to call somebody else. Now, if that person comes out to the yard and he's like me, he's going to trim that tree. He's going to look for other trees that might need to be trimmed. He's going to look for other things that may need to be done. And he's going to tell her, look, you need this, and that done. Look at this, look at that. And then what's going to happen is she's going to think, well, my lawn guy, he don't tell me anything, I thought that he would see something like that, but you just be like, I'm just focused on the grass. And then, I'm just focused on the bushes. You gotta open your eyes and communicate with your customers and your clients and look around and see what else that needs to be done, because most of them, they're not really paying attention to that stuff until it gets too far gone. So that's why I try to do everything, because I don't want nobody coming on my property. Now, if it's something major like a big oak tree that needs to be cut down and removed, or a tree that fell on the house or something like that, okay, I get that. That's out of my range, and that should be understandable. But if it's something else minor, I don't want them on my accounts. I know a guy, he doesn't do bushes, and he's always telling me, man, I just lost another account. She just told me don't come back no more. What did you do? I didn't do anything. I'll be like, man, and I started just asking him questions, and I realized that he didn't do bushes. And I said, well, you might want to consider doing bushes, trimming bushes, because that's probably why you're losing those accounts. And we went back and forth about it, and I said, well, look, answer me this then. Have they ever asked you to trim their bushes? Because I'm pretty sure bushes are growing wild when you just cutting their yard and not doing them. And he was like, yeah, they asked me to do them, but I tell them I don't do it because, I don't want to buy a trimmer, and, I just don't really like doing bushes. I'm like, okay. I said, well, that's probably why. No, that can't be why. I said, okay, well, this is what happening to you, guy. You're cutting their yard, you're doing a nice job, but you're not trimming the bushes. So they call somebody else to trim the bushes, and 9 out of 10, he cuts grass too. And he did such a nice job on the bushes. Then they say, well, if he did this nice of a job on these bushes, I know he's going to do just as good a job on the lawn. So after this season is over, I'm going to fire this guy. I'm going to hire this guy because he can do it. He can do more things. I don't want 2 guys coming on my property, dealing with my yard. And, it took him about a year or so until he realized that I was right, and he started trimming bushes. So that's just something for you guys to think about. That's how I earn extra money. There's always something to do when you provide so many services. Companies have been doing this for years. If you look at McDonald's was just known as a hamburger joint, but they sell other things as well. You can look at even bigger companies like GE. GE is known for the first light bulb. GE makes appliances. They make the turbines for like those big planes that you fly on. When you go out of town. They own I think NBC. One of those C's, one of them ABCs, NBC, CBS, one of them. And I'm pretty sure it's NBC, but they own that. So that company, it would take a lot for that company to ever fall, because they involved in so many things. I mean, one entity of their company can sustain the whole entire company. I mean, they're building planes all the time. I mean, you need those turbines. So if they're building turbines for planes, they constantly making money doing that. NBC's making a ton of money. light bulbs, appliances, just all the way around. So if one starts to suffer a little bit, the other one is going up. One can be suffering, and then the other two are up, and it'll sustain the one that's suffering. So that's what diversifying does. Like right now, I'm not cutting any grass, I'm not trimming any bushes because everything has gone dormant, everything has stopped growing. But leaves are falling, cars need to be washed, houses need to be pressure washed, weeds need to be sprayed. So I'm still working. And that's how I'm able to earn extra money. So that's how I do it. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I see